Slice a path through my enemies with your unforgiving wings.
Ride! Blade Wing Reijy! Welcome back, everyone. My name is Steven Rodriguez. I'm your true champion, and that's right. Today we are doing Mr. Edgelord himself, Blade Wing Reijy in Cardfight Vanguard Zero. But before we get started with my deck list for the brand new Dark Irregulars boss himself, be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell for notifications so that way you guys know when my videos go live for you. I think something like 50-ish% of you guys aren't actually subscribed that watch these videos, so just know that I do post videos 5 times a week. I do all kinds of TCG, Vanguard Zero, anime, theory videos, vlogs, all kinds of stuff like that. And if you guys are interested in any kind of content like that, just know that subscribing is always an option. Also, a very special announcement. I made this announcement yesterday during the Pale Moon video, but I will be hosting a brand new Twitch series starting next Wednesday, August 12th, called the Deck Doctor series, where basically I will go through deck list submissions from you guys, edit them, give you guys some notes, and maybe make them a little bit better, / help you guys with any problems you may or may not have. These decks, by the way, do not have to be Vanguard Zero decks. They can be any deck that you want from any game that I play, or really any game that exists, because I do know a lot about certain card game metas, and through my 10 years plus of playing card games, I feel like no matter what kind of deck you show me, I can give you some advice. So be sure to use the link in the description. Go check out my Discord, look for the Deck Doctors chat tab, and don't be afraid to add screenshots of Yu-Gi-Oh decks, Xenon Zard decks, Shadowverse decks, Dragon Ball Super decks. There's a lot of card games, guys. I can't go through them all, but put whatever you want. Make it a screenshot, make it a typed out deck list, make it a deck code that I can put in my Vanguard Zero app, make it whatever you want. As long as I can see it, know what's in it, and give you guys some notes, it'll work for the series. Also, if you want to put a little thing in there saying what you want to work on, what your problems are, what you think you should change and stuff like that, to help me kind of give you more guided or targeted information versus just general things, by all means go ahead and do so. That'll just make my job a lot easier and hopefully give you the information you need. So yeah, guys, that'll be a really exciting series. I think I'll kick it off on August 12th at around 9 or 10 a.m. PST, so be sure to leave a follow over on my Twitch. Links to that down below. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop into my Blade Wing Reijy deck for the new format in Cardfight Vanguard Zero. Really quick, before I show you guys my Reijy deck list, I wanted to kind of briefly tell you that I focused this list more on the general consistency of getting to 15 soul as fast as possible, because to me, you don't really need the extra rearguard pressure in such a Vanguard-centered deck. I'll explain more about that in just a second. Just know that this deck's whole thing isn't to be overwhelmingly powerful. It's to be as consistent as possible and get you to 15 soul as fast as possible. And here it is. As you can see, I'm missing a lot of cards for this one, but God bless the rental system, because your boy pulled absolute hot garbage for set 6, but that won't stop me from using this deck list, by the way. That won't stop me from giving you guys the content, all right? That won't stop me. All right, so as you can see here, it's kind of confusing, but the overall idea is that we have Blade Wing Reijy, we have Amon as our best backup ride, we have the only Witching Hour card in this deck as Chariot, because he's the best one, and then of course we have all of these soul charging cards. Pretty much every single one of our grade 1s and 2s, besides 7 of them, all soul charge in some way. So I'll definitely talk about that in a second, but just know the whole idea of this deck is to make Reijy as consistent as possible by getting to 15 cards in soul as fast as possible. And here's why. We have Blade Wing Reijy. I have 0 of these boys, very, very sad, but he has 2 effects. Vanguard, during your turn, if your soul is 15 or more cards, this unit gets plus 15,000 power and 2 critical. So he's a 26k beat stick with 3 crits. And that's why you want to get to 15 soul as fast as possible, so you can become the biggest, fattest beat stick in the world and have a guaranteed win condition as soon as your opponent is at 3 damage. Super nice. His other effect is when placed, put 3 cards with the same card name as one of your rear guards from your deck into your soul. So this is the kind of effect that people like to abuse with the Witching Hour cards like Chariot or Bike or the Carriage thing, because you can put more of these guys into your soul and then they gain power plus crits because of that. However, those cards only add cards to your deck and add pressure to your board. And I feel like because Dark Irregulars have such powerful vanguards that already create enough pressure, you don't really need extra rear guards to do the same thing. What you want are your rear guards to sort of support your vanguard as a way to get your effects to happen faster. Now, I am playing the 4 copy of Chariot by himself because he's just the best heal trigger to play right now because he creates more copies of himself, and in the late game you can call this card and have it be a pretty good beat stick by himself without the need for boosters. So that's why I like playing him and not the others. Also, you could have played Edelrose, but then you have to play Werewolf Seeger, and like I said, those cards don't soul charge, so they're not really that useful, so having this is just like better. And his skill is, during your turn on the rear guard, this unit gets power plus 2k for each of your chariots in the soul, and if you have 3 or more, this unit gets critical plus 1. So he's basically a 16k beat stick with a critical, which is super nice. He also has an effect that says, when placed, add a demon chariot, a Hades carriage, and a demon bike of the witching hour to your deck. This basically generates 3 cards that goes into your deck, one of which being a heal trigger, so you can add extra copies of heal triggers into your deck. So basically by playing him or just calling him down early, you just put more heals back into your deck. A really cool thing I like doing is saving these cards in my hand until I soul charge a bunch, and then my deck is really thin, and then I just play them down and I just add heal triggers while my deck is really thin. Really nice way to kind of get some late game heals. Super cool. Finally, we have like our 5 other grade 3s. The biggest one being Demon World Marquis Amon. If you're not at 15 soul by your first grade 3 ride, you want to ride this guy. He is your best boy to sit on because you soul charge so much, he's already going to be super fat with the plus 1k to soul, and he has the ability to add more cards to your soul plus to kind of control your opponent's board, which is just super nice and lets you kind of last longer because you are kind of a grindy deck, but once you get your opponent to kind of 3 damage and you can just like beat their face in with Reijys, you're basically good to go. So having this helps add to your soul, helps add to your general mid-game plays, and it's just a really good card. And then finally we have No Life King Death Anchor, and the real purpose of this card isn't to be like a late game finisher for the 10k power and a crit. It's actually for the at the start of your main phase, soul charge 1, gain 2k, because if you ride him first before you ride Reijy, he can basically give you 3 cards in your soul. Him, the card he soul charges, and then the next turn. So it's actually really cool. I like this card in the deck. It adds to your 15 soul, and it's not the worst ride in the world. And sometimes if you want to ride him in the late game for some reason because Reijy isn't good enough for you, then yeah, he can do that as well. A good grade 3 you can play besides these guys are like the 12k attacker, Evil Eye Basilisk, I think his name is, because they finally have one, which is cool. But if you ride into a card like Chariot, he does literally nothing for you besides adding extra copies in your deck, and that's kind of bad. So you always want to be on a Vanguard that's either Reijy or a card that soul charges. Otherwise, you're not really doing anything to sort of support your skills or support your game plan. All right, moving on to grade 2. So like I said, guys, we're not playing any carriage or any bikes, just hardcore soul charging. Basically, besides Win the Ripper, every single card soul charges. We have Emblem Master, the most busted card in the deck. So counterblast 1, soul charge 3 on hit, on hits or busted in Vanguard Zero. This is a guaranteed soul charging 3. Super good, best ride target, best grade 2 in the deck. Next, we have 3 copies of Free Traveler. Now, I know his effect says counterblast 1, put a card in the soul, but really it says counterblast 1, soul charge 2, because you can use his effect and abuse the best grade 1 in the deck, Dimension Creeper. So you can search your deck for a Dimension Creeper, put it in the soul, and then soul charge, and then soul blast this to add 2 more cards in soul. So he's basically counterblast 1 on play, soul charge 2. That's basically what this guy says. Really strong. And a cool thing about this and Emblem Master is that these cards aren't automatic soul charges. That's a big thing that I'll get to in a second. Of course, we have Flirtatious Succubus, on play, soul charge 1, classic, easy, no questions asked, just good. Keep this in mind, this is an automatic soul charge. So what I'm saying is, the reason why automatics are bad is because when you reach 15 soul, you just stop. There's no reason to soul charge any more cards. And so being able to sort of have the option with Free Traveler, Emblem Master, even Yellow Bolt to say, you know what? I'm good. I don't need any more cards in my soul is really, really nice. And while cards like Flirtatious and Alluring are great, and for the early game and kind of getting you to 15, they're not really great after that. They kind of just waste cards from your deck. You could soul charge PGs that you still have in there, soul charge triggers, stuff like that. And then finally, we have 3 copies of the only non-soul charging grade 2, Win the Ripper, counterblast 2, retire a grade 2 or less card, Berserk Clone, basically for Dark Irregulars. Really, really strong. The point of him is basically so we could have extra push turns in the late game. So if our opponent has 2 intercepts, we can use his effect and then swing into another one, boom, clear the intercepts, and then we have 2 attacks on my opponent's Vanguard. Say they're at 4 damage, and I have a Chariot and a Gwyn, boom. Those are 2 lethal swings that my opponent needs 2 PGs to survive in basically. So that's kind of the point, just to add to our aggression. I think having some form of extra aggression besides Reijy is important, and that's why we're playing him. I think, however, 3 might be too much. 2 might be the sweet spot, but for now I'm testing 3, but I think 2 will definitely be the way to go for sure. And finally, we have the grade 1s. First things first, 4D Creeper, best card in the goddamn deck. And a thing I want to make sure you guys understand about D Creeper is you don't use him right away. Once he's in your soul, you leave him there until you can do the math and go, okay, I have 3 D Creepers. That's 6 cards in soul, but really it's a +3 in soul, not 6 cards. Make sure you keep that correct. The math can get a little confusing, but be sure to always save your D Creepers until the very end when you can do the math and figure out how many more cards you need in your soul to get to 15. Hopefully I can show off some pretty cool soul charging math in today's video, but there's always a little moment where like you'll realize, oh, I could have soul charged 1 more card. Oh, this is a little bit wrong. Once you make a couple of mistakes with soul charging, you'll never make them again. So don't worry too much about like figuring it out right away. Just go with the deck, play with it, and figure it out as you go. Next up, we have 4 Yellow Bolt. I really like Yellow Bolt. He's probably like the best grade 1 to play besides D Creeper, because the second you get him in your hand, you plop him down and you just start soul charging. In the early game too, you don't really need boosters that much because you're either swinging naked at an opponent's Vanguard or you're swinging at rear guards anyway, and you don't really need boosters to get over those. So having Yellow Bolt just to like sit there and keep getting you a +1 soul every single turn is just super nice. If you have 2, it gets crazy. Aside from that, guys, the deck is 9 draw because there is 0 ways to plus in it, and when you have a sort of kind of beat down strategy and you don't have a way to kind of refuel your resources, you can kind of burn out pretty quickly. So having the 9 draw just kind of give us some artificial advantage is really nice. Plus, we do have pieces in here like Win, like Reijy, like the occasional, I guess, alluring / flirtatious that we kind of need to add to our hand, so it's nice to see them just so we can kind of extend our plays in the mid to late game. One final thing that I would like to note about this deck really quickly before we do the games is that this deck, and Reijy specifically, is really good at controlling for limit break, because basically once your opponent is at 3 damage, they are in a lethal range, because all you gotta do is swing at their rear guards if there's any intercepts, and then swing Reijy at their face, and then as long as they keep having PGs, they'll stay at 3 damage and thus no limit break. So you can just either kill them or never give them limit break, which is a really good way to sort of get ahead of these decks and kind of make it to where you're not really losing to them, despite maybe not having the most advantage in the world. So yeah, guys, that does it for the deck. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below, or better yet, hop into my Twitch channel. I go live every Monday, Thursday, Friday. I do all kinds of things and just chatting, and I play a lot of Vanguard Zero. So come ask some questions and hopefully get some answers. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and see what this boy can do over on the ranked ladder. Alright guys, here we are for game 1, fighting against Shadow Paladin, it looks like. Angel Wolf, good luck, have fun, let's see what we can do here. Actually, I think I didn't mention in the deck profile, just like a little fun fact for you guys, is that I actually do play Dark Irregulars IRL, and one of my favorite archetypes of all time was the Blade Wing archetype during G era. So I do have a lot of sentimentality when it comes to Blade Wings, so I'm really excited to play this deck for you guys today. I'm going to hang on to all these cards except for these 2, because a really good card you want to see in your opening hand is D Creeper, so you can write it and have it guaranteed in your soul already, which is really nice. We are playing against Shadows, and it's Shadow Duke. Okay, nothing too crazy. If they kind of go hard into the Duke strategy, we can actually damage deny them, but there goes the not grade 1 Vortimer, but they could always have the grade 2 in their hand, which is like the big thing for them, honestly. They could really care less about having the grade 1 as long as they have everything else. I do have the Yellow Bolt in my hand, so I will be able to ride Alluring, call Yellow Bolt, and just get a nice little 2 soul charge on turn 1. Super solid. So yeah, we're gonna ride Alluring. I soul charge something. I'll put Greedy Hand here, actually. It's always really nice to put them there, because you can, your Vanguard doesn't really need a booster ever, so if you ever need to boost a rear guard, you can. I will call you here, activating your skill. There goes 2 triggers, right? Of course. Yeah, that'll happen, guys. That's like a guarantee with this deck, with how many cards you kind of go through. I just realized I didn't have a boost for my Vanguard. Whoops. I'm so used to playing correctly that I didn't look at the board and I didn't respond to what my opponent was doing. It's all right though. Like I said, we have a lot of ways to deal damage in the mid to late game, and now watch, he can't commit a Nemain to board now, so he won't get a free +1. You know, counters. And there's a Blaster Dark. Oh, that's a little interesting. So he's playing like the Blaster Darks in there, I think, to sort of have the 11k on your PBD when you need them. I guess that's cool. Neat little mixture of the ride chains there, I guess. I would love to see a grade 2 this turn, because if I did, I could like mount a really good offensive, because I believe you have to hit Vanguard, right? Yeah, that's a little scary. Not being able to hit with my Emblem Master would be a bit of a bad news bear, that's for sure. But have hope, boys and girls. D Creeper. Ugh, I hate committing these things to the board, but I will. So like this, I didn't mention this, but a big play people love to do with this deck is sort of like commit the D Creeper to board early and then use the Reijy ride and then just like get 3 in your soul automatically. That's really, really strong. I agree, but it's kind of like because I don't like committing D Creepers to board, because if I don't go into a Mon, they become just like dead cards on the board, and that they could have been like another card in my soul essentially. So that's like a big like feels bad, I think, is like sure, getting those 3 in your soul is really good, but committing one to board is like really bad. But I guess it's okay. So we have 7 cards in there. I still haven't used Greedy Hand. I think I will actually ride a Mon and then use Greedy Hand next turn as a way to sort of build my soul and maybe control for his board as well. Right now, nothing crazy in there. That PG's a little sad. There's the PBD. So he is playing kind of like a... I wonder if he's playing any PBO then. He might not be playing PBO. If he's playing like 4 Duke, 4 PBD, and then I would understand playing the copies of Blaster Dark then. Is he going to attack my rearguard Greedy Hand? What a jerk. What did he do to you? He's just chilling out, living his best life over there. Leave him alone. Let's do some math here. I'll ride into 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll have 11 cards in my soul, 12 with the Flirtatious if I ride into a Mon. Wow, look at that. Must be nice. Must be nice to get a double trigger. Sorry, no. Yeah, no, double trigger. Wow. Must be nice. I'm definitely calling this Chariot next turn. Don't fret, guys. I will definitely call this Chariot and party on my opponent's board right now. Just get it all out of here and just deal him 1 damage. I would love to draw a PG though, because if I don't, I definitely die. Okay, double intercept. Maybe I don't die now. Maybe I don't die now. So yeah, I will soul charge, put that into soul. So I'm gonna soul charge with Yellow Bolt first. D Creeper, wonderful. Maybe I should have been a bit greedier about it. Here's the thing about this is I could call. Okay, yeah. So next turn we are guaranteed to have all the cards and soul we need. So we have 3, 6, 10 cards in our decks. We have like 6 triggers, and that's actually a lot. So yeah, we have guaranteed, because I have 12 cards in my soul. I'll have a lot when I ride into Reijy, so we're good to go there. I could activate your effect again and just soul charge. Okay, I'll do it this way. I'll activate your effect. Yeah, it's fine. Put the heal triggers back in because I want more heal triggers in there. I'll use Amon's effect again and hope that it gets rid of the intercept. Actually, it doesn't really matter which one it gets rid of, honestly. I would like to get rid of Dark Terror, actually. It doesn't get rid of him. It's okay though. If I get any triggers, I can poke it, which is fine. I really just want to clear his board this turn and maybe get a heal. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Life is great. Okay. So now everything checks out. We are now in the black. That was a little bit of a weird turn for sure, but I was able to do something that I needed to do in order to kind of stay in this game. His board's clear. He has 2 cards in his hand. He needs to basically use his entire hand to use PBD, and thus I will still have 1 intercept. So if he does use PBD, we'll be good to go. So he could have a Vibe Car or a Nemain or something, obviously, and change that, but let's see what he does. If he uses Nemain, he can't use PBD, so it's fine. And then next turn I'm gonna go for Reijy. I'll put all the yellow bolts in my deck, in my soul, and just thin them out. Have all the triggers in there and just start partying on my opponent's board, basically. Because once I deal him enough damage to kind of win with Reijy, I just win the game, which is just lovely. This would be a great. I wouldn't say I need Gwen the Ripper this turn, but he'd be nice. He wouldn't be bad. My opponent only has 1 PG maximum in their hand, which is great. It's just nice to see that. It's a draw trigger, huge. Don't draw a heal. Oh boy! And now I have what? I think I have 3 heals in that deck. Yeah, I have 3 heals in that deck, which is super huge. I'm gonna thin my deck even more now, which is super nice. So this is why you should like always save your chariots for like late game play, so you can just like make your deck just like pure triggers and stuff. Yep, 15 cards exactly. I don't even need to use my D creepers because it took me a little bit longer than I would have liked to have gotten here, but it's cool. I could use my Gwyn this turn actually, and there's really no reason not to. There really isn't, because what I'm gonna do this turn is I'm gonna swing. There's no reason not to go this first, because if he gets the trigger, I can just use Gwyn at the rear guard, which is fine. He gets the trigger, it's useless, we're chill. I'm just gonna swing at his Vanguard and see if he has the PG in his hand already. If he doesn't, it's cool. If I get a heal here, God tier. Oh ho ho, we are God tier, boys and girls. So yeah, it was a little shaky there at first, for sure. That Morikawa hand into like having nothing, and now my opponent has 0 cards in hand, 0 cards on board, and now they're at a lethal range because I don't need to deal them any more damage. I can just control their board, and now they have nothing. So now it's his turn. What's he gonna do? Unless he goes like Wombo, like, wait, no, he can't even use the main. He has no cards in hand, never mind. Unless he goes like Bibe car, but then I have a PG in my hand, you know what I mean? Like, even if he has like the nuts, we will not die, which is just great. And here's the real fun part, boys and girls. He can't heal still. If he checks any heal triggers, that just means he's gonna die more likely on the next turn, which I just find fun. Which I just find is like a fun fact for you. Ooh, a crit. Good for him. Very scary. This is like the big downfall too, as you can see, of like 9 crit shadows. By the way, just a little brief statement for you guys here on this is like, the worst part is like when you get into a place where you need to like come back. You have like 0 comeback potential. You have a lot of killing power, but 0 comeback potential. And when you can't like come back in a game, it can feel like, oh, what am I doing? And like you have no hope, because now I'm gonna make it to where he needs to check double heal triggers to survive, and they need to be pretty clutch heal triggers. So like go, so I'm gonna attack right here first. Watch there be a heal trigger on this first check. He's gonna cry himself to sleep tonight if it is. It's a crit. It's not a heal, but it's still a trigger though, which is just fun. He's also seen a lot of triggers. I've soul charged a lot, and I drew a lot as well. But now they're in the deck, and now they're coming in. Ooh, a heal trigger. So now he has 3 options to heal, and he needs 2 of the 3. He needs 2 of these 3 checks to be heal triggers to survive. But I don't think he can kill us even if they are, is the fun bit. And they're not. That is game 1. The edgier boys won in the Battle of the Edgelords. Let's go, baby. Moving on to game 2. All right, guys, here for our final game, fighting against Gold Paladins. Ooh. Oh, I just realized. The curse is finally broken. Oh my goodness. So if you guys didn't know, in all the 3 videos I posted this week, Gold Paladin, Shadow Paladin, and Pale Moon, I have fought the same deck back to back in all the videos. Finally, it's broken. A different deck, not Shadows. Let's go. Hand looks good. I want to just put back the Gwyn and maybe get a D Creeper. Or another Reijy. Yeah, I guess that's okay. I'm going second though, so if I draw a D Creeper, I think this hand would be considered perfect, which is pretty nice. There's an Ezel, so we're not playing against Spec Duke. Interesting. This is actually really good for us, but they do play a lot more damage adders in this deck than they do in Spec Duke, so we could be in a scenario where, like, even if we do damage deny them at 3 damage, they can still get the Limb Break off, obviously, because they play a lot of damage adders, but it's still always the best play for us to do. I might be a bit aggressive, actually, because, like, I know that they play lots of damage adders, so I could be, like, you know, a 5-head and try and like get ahead of him that way, but I don't know. We'll see what to do here. Going second and riding Yellow Bolt sucks because then I can't use his skill and get actual value from it. And now I'm no longer making a misplay by calling this greedy hand here, because I will get the 1 damage. Last time it wasn't the biggest deal in the world, but you do want like them at 3 damage pretty soon. There's the D. Oh, D Creeper was the next card. Why are you so cruel to me, game? And that's so cruel. That is so cruel. So we see a heal trigger. That's fine. No big deal for us. Well, saying it earlier is actually really nice because sometimes, because we tend to always be like the one with the most damage compared to our opponent. So usually they don't really get the option to heal whenever we kill them, which is like always a fun bit about it, being able to heal deny. I think I'm gonna go really slow next turn if I don't get any other grade 2s. Oh, crits. Okay, that's fine. He's playing. I mean, it's a safe assumption that he was playing crits the whole time, but you know, always scary when you see a critical trigger out of nowhere. I would have liked that flirtatious. I'm in another scenario where it's kind of good to call the D Creeper. But I hate calling it because, well, I don't have a Mon, so there really is no reason not to ride Reijy next turn. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of like, you know, oh, let's just ride the D creepers and like get them in there that way. But and I really don't want to call it behind the Vanguard because it's a big waste of a booster if I do it that way. I think I'd rather just activate Greedy Hand skill, thin the deck out of a D creeper, call Gwyn the D creeper, and then swing. But then if I do that, then okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call Gwyn. I do want to get actual value out of riding Reijy, right? And the best way to do that will be to call the D creeper. So I'm gonna call the D creeper. I really want to call Gwyn, but I probably shouldn't. No, I will. I will call Gwyn. And I guess, yeah, no, don't invoke that. I'll activate you because there's really no point just leaving you there. Oh, maybe I'm being a little. Oh, I'm actually being a little stupid here, actually, because if I do it this way, what I'm doing essentially is I'm making it to where Emblem Master might not go off, if that makes sense. So Emblem Master is now in a scenario where he won't be able to go off if I attack with that first. But am I okay with that? I kind of think I am. Yeah, I'll be a bit greedy about it. Oh, never be greedy, team. Oh, the comments are gonna eat me alive for that. Oh my god, I'm gonna get eaten alive for that play. Oh, draw trigger. Never mind. We're the best players in the world. Oh, and a PG. Okay, we're the best players in the world. Comments, don't get mad at me. I'm sorry. I hear you. I know I made a oops, but it's okay. It paid off. All right. We were greedy and it paid off. And we didn't get any D creepers, so we're maximizing our soul to our best potential. I won't get it on the first ride though, obviously. I mean, I'll do some math and we'll see, but I probably won't. I would probably need another Emblem Master or another ride of Reijy, essentially, if I wanted to actually get it off. But it's okay. And he rides Pelennor too, SP Pelennor as well, actually. Really cool. I would love top decking Amon this turn. While it would suck because it means that I should have used Greedy Hand to get a D Creeper, would be pretty awesome because I would love to see an Amon right now. It would just be like the best thing that I could ride, honestly. Or that would have been a good ride as well. Because like I said, there are moments here where like you don't have enough cards in your soul to get full value out of Reijy, but I do have that Emblem Master booster. Ooh, okay. Yeah, target you, put all three. Ooh, don't get me wrong. While I do not condone that play, it is a really cool play. Yeah, all we need is 2 more cards in the soul, sadly, and we're there. Because these cards aren't 6 cards, it's +3, it's not +6. If it was +6, that'd be pretty dumb. But I do have Emblem Master, and I do have, obviously, another copy of Reijy in my hand. So, what I think I'm gonna do is definitely call this. I want to call this just to put more copies of things into the soul. But there's nothing in there already, so it's just a 10k. But then what I could do next turn is add more copies of it in there. Or I could commit this Reijy, and then what I could do with this Reijy if he doesn't attack it. Yeah. I'm gonna try and big brain him here into like not attacking our Reijy. Now maybe that wasn't smart because like in theory I could have wrote it again and had an extra card in my soul that way, but that still wouldn't be 15. I would need 2 more cards, right? So I need like a yellow bolt. A yellow bolt would be so nice to have, but it's okay. Oh, that too. Okay, yes. So now if I just draw a yellow bolt, we're good next turn. So that's great. So never punished. There's the yellow bolt, by the way. So if he leaves my Reijy, we get our soul. If we top deck another Flirtatious or a yellow bolt, we get our soul. Oh, my dad's calling me. Sorry. Sorry, Dad. Recording a video right now, bud. Whoa, stop. I was like, sorry, Dad. Recording a video right now, bud. Can't talk. Sorry for that intermission. Also, do keep in mind, by the way, that there's 2 PGs in his damage zone. As the Dark Irregulars player, yummy. I'm going to definitely enjoy getting rid of those. Also, I've realized that there's no Ezreals. He is playing the Sagramore, which I like, actually, being able to thin your deck out for certain things. He called that so we can tuck it back in using Pelennor. Makes sense. We have 2 PGs in our hand. He is playing crits, but I'm not afraid of him. I ain't afraid of no Bad Bunny. I'll tell you what, I ain't afraid of no Bad Bunny just sitting right there looking at me. Hey, I'm Pelennor. I'm strong. Not to me, you are, mate. Not to me. Heck, if he doesn't even give us, I mean, I'm cool. Oh, I was gonna say, like, if he doesn't get the crit here, I'm super chilling because what that means is like, oh, I wonder if he'll attack us. Oh, please give me 2 damage so I can use my Win the Ripper next turn and then top deck all the things I need to get my soul. Please do it. Please do it. Please do it. I would love that. I would absolutely love that, mate. I would absolutely. Oh, he's a smart egg. We're fighting against a smart egg, boys and girls. He knows. That means he has the PG in his hand too because he's like, this is the only way that I can survive. So I gotta do it. But I will say, oh, we drew it. Let's go, baby. Okay, here we go. Oh, I have never simped harder for these things in my life. I'll tell you that much. I will tell you that much, team. Okay, here we go. Activate. So that's 13 cards. Yep. Activate. That's 14 cards, and then this is gonna be 15 cards. Let's go, baby. Oh, and a lot of those weren't triggers, actually. How many triggers in my deck? Oh, I have 2 heal triggers in my deck. Yeah, so I'm gonna have 3 and then 4, essentially. So I'm gonna do it that way. I see no reason not to just make sure that we have plenty of cards in our deck. I don't want to commit another one. I'm actually just gonna put this, do I just put this here and then call this? No, I wanna wait for it, because like if he has the 1 PG, he'll have no more cards in his hand, so I'm cool. So unless he top decks Ezel next turn, you know, like this line of play is fine. Watch him does like not have any in his hand, he just like mega dies. Just like mega death. You are so dead if this hits. Oh my god, didn't even matter, team. Didn't even matter. We top deck our Flirtatious. That's all that matters, boys and girls. Boom goes the dynamite. 2 Paladin decks down. Go Blade Wing Reijy. All right, guys. After some blood, sweat, tears, and a lot of creation stones, that does it for my Dark Irregulars Blade Wing Reijy set 6 deck profile for Cardfight Vanguard Zero. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Hopefully you saw like a new way to play Blade Wing Reijy versus like the standard like beat stick one with the witching hour cards and stuff like that. That deck is really strong, but I think like the allure of those cards takes away from you trying to get your consistency up with the actual deck itself. And you guys know me, I'm a big fan of consistency and driving towards a guaranteed game plan that gives you more options, not less. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell for notifications so that you guys know when my videos go live for you. If you have any extra questions that this video did not answer, leave them down in the comments below, or better yet, hop into my Twitch channel. I go live every Monday, Thursday, Friday. I do all kinds of things, just chatting, and play a lot of Vanguard Zero, so come stop by, ask some questions, and hopefully get some live answers. Don't forget, by the way, about a brand new Deck Doctor series, link down below to my Discord. Be sure to check out the Deck Doctor chat channel so you guys can post your deck lists there that I can then judge and hopefully give some tips on. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I've been your true champion, Steven. Please be sure to work hard, rest easy, and live well, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.